Kamala Harris is winning the popular vote now by 77%.
What's happening right now in cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin and Dogecoin, it's a wild west out there. It makes it not a good way to buy and sell things, and not a good investment, and an environmental disaster.
I hate to tell you I told you so, but of course, guys, I'm Joshua J. Today we're going beyond the headlines, and you're not gonna like what you have to hear. Earlier today, Alex Thorn released a huge Twitter thread with new evidence that Kamala Harris will continue crypto crackdown. Her advisor choices suggest that she will keep Biden's hostile attitude towards crypto, and Harris is working with Brian Deese and Bharat Ramamaturi, I believe is how you pronounce that last name, two key anti-crypto officials from the Biden administration. So if you want the up-only charts, if you want an alt season, if you want crypto to prosper in America, this is what I have been warning you about. Now, quick backstory. Alex Thorn is the head of research at Galaxy HQ, Galaxy Research. He was previously the head of Bitcoin research and VC at Fidelity. So I'd argue that he knows a thing or two about crypto and policies. In his report, he found that Harris plans to unveil elements of her economic policy agenda in a mid-August speech. In fact, that this Friday. I will hopefully be live streaming it. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, turn on those notifications, and more importantly, leave a like and comment down below what you're most excited for in this upcoming election. Are you voting Trump or are you voting Harris here? She hired a top Treasury Department official, Brian Nelson, as an advisor while also relying on longtime allies such as a former policy chief, Rohini Kasoglu, crazy last names here, and a trio of outsiders, Mike Pyle, her first economic advisor as VP, and Brian Deese and Bharat. Two former Biden economic aides is helping polish a refreshed economic pitch, drawing on the Biden and Harris records. This is according to people familiar with the planning. Harris supports raising the corporate tax rate to 28% from 21%, the people say, fully in line with Biden's most recent budget proposal, which also calls for taxes on wealthy crypto holders. There are no plans for Harris's campaign to announce sprawling new policy, such as on cryptocurrency. This is according to the people. The overall direction hints at something of a live and let live approach toward Wall Street, tempered by a continued antitrust drive and a prosecutor's itch for enforcement. Regulation by enforcement. We're going to have more Gary Genslers being established as commissioners from the executive branch to, of course, regulate the crypto industry. And as mentioned in that policy by the people surrounding the Biden administration, that is going to be more regulation by enforcement policy, which is not good in any single way, shape, or form. Under Harris, the short list for Treasury Secretary is expected to be the same as it was for Biden. National Economic Council Director Lael Brainard, Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, and Deputy Treasury Secretary Wally Adeyemo. A Chief of Staff Jeff Zients are all candidates. People familiar with the matter say Harris has worked regularly with Adeyemo, in particular on some economic initiatives such as funding minority lenders. This is where this gets toxic, okay? Deese famously wrote a blog. So Brian Deese, one of the people a part of Economic Advisory Council, famously wrote a blog on the White House website, the administration's roadmap to, of course, mitigating cryptocurrency risks. The blog claims to support innovation, but casts the whole of their crypto policy through a fraud and risk mitigation lens. This is going to lead Harris advisors Brian Deese anti-crypto White House blog being published on, of course, January 27th, 2023, only a year ago. The same day, the Fed rejected Custodia's bank membership. This is part of Operation Chokepoint 2.0 and a master account application. The Fed extended January 3, 2023 bank restrictions on crypto activities to all members, including state-chartered entities. January 27th, only 4 days afterwards, was a Friday, but when the Senate opened again on February 2nd, Senator Dick Durbin, Majority Whip number 2 Senate Democrat, took the floor to lambast firms like Fidelity for working on crypto. Here's the video.
We were discussing the issue from a different perspective, whether Bitcoins and similar objects were commodities subject to regulation by the Commodities Future Trading Commission, an agency which I know well from the financial industry in Chicago. I left that hearing after some critical remarks about cryptocurrency, and a reporter stopped me in the hall, and she said to me, "How much money have you received in political contributions from FTX?" I said, "None." She said, "You're wrong. Look again." I looked. It's over $7,000, money that I did not solicit but banked, not knowing what was really behind the money. We've given that money to charity, as you might expect, but they have more friends in high places than they have really good argument for their product.
Now, in that video, Durbin also specifically praises the Fed for its denials of custodia's application. White House blog, 2 key Fed denials, Fed guidance expanding its authority on crypto dramatically, and an 11-minute floor speech from Senate banking. It's hard to believe that the current timing of these actions was not coordinated. And given the National Economic Council's central role in forming White House economic policy, it's obvious that Dees is a central figure, or was a central figure, in the enactment of chokepoint 2.0. Again, making it very hard to not only utilize crypto in America, but bank crypto in America. Continue on, Alex Thornton shows that Bharat is showing he worked under Dees at the National Economic Council. The two probably met at Yale Law, where they overlapped in the 2000s, and has extensive experience working for Senator Elizabeth Warren, the Senate's biggest crypto antagonist. He worked in her Senate office and led economic policy for her campaign. Not the resume we want to see for pro-crypto legislation. Fortune described Bharat as the White House's top crypto critic. This is coming from, of course, Fortune. They reported that it was Ramamurthy who intervened to block the stablecoin compromise between Patrick McHenry and Representative Maxine Waters in early 2023. On top of this, Bharat later left the White House and was replaced by the NEC by John Donenberg, yet another former Elizabeth Warren aide. Based on Harris advisor choices, I won't be surprised to hear shortly that he too will advise the Harris and Walz campaign. Massively sad. Guys, a lot of the advisors for, of course, of Harris's campaign, her policies, her economic policies, her councils, etc., the advisors are coming from anti-crypto legislators. They do not and are not for crypto adoption. Now, if you want to know a pretty decent bet, I think that is going to take place with the popular vote, is going to be longing Kamala Harris's bet right now up until September 10th with Donald Trump's debate. I believe once we see that debate take place, we very well could see something similar to the Hillary and Trump debate in 2016, where Donald Trump absolutely scraped the floor with Hillary Clinton, and that will allow and see Donald Trump's popular vote jump by, if not 50% to 100%, or perhaps even potentially take over Kamala Harris here, making it a good bet to say yes on Donald Trump right now, and then get out of the bet after or shortly after the debate once we see more fundraising come from the Harris campaign. So that is one way you can profit massively off, of course, the upcoming debate between Kamala Harris and Donald J. Trump. Now, if you want to know how to profit in the crypto market off Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, make sure you guys stick till the end of this video, because I have an idea that might shock your portfolios. Now, in April, of course, another writer confirmed Leo's reporting, saying that it was specifically Dees and Ramamurthy who intervened to kill the stablecoin legislation. Keep in mind that the bill would have legalized but heavily regulated stablecoins, both with oversight, how they operate, and prudential, what collateralizes them, powers. Regardless of what you think of such a bill, it would undoubtedly have brought stables in from the cold and added significant customer safety. By the way, the well-known primary stacking point was the Republicans, like Patrick McHenry, wanted to preserve a state pathway for stablecoin registration, meaning that a state chartered depository, a state bank, could be allowed to issue a stablecoin. Democrats seem okay with this until Dees and Ramamurthy's intervention, at which point the Democrats decided they would only support a stablecoin bill if it gave regulatory authority solely to the Federal Reserve and national banks. The irony of this, of course, is that on January 3rd, 2023, 7 months earlier, the Fed and OCC and FDIC issued guidance effectively prohibiting national banks from doing anything with crypto. And on January 27th, 2023, 6 months earlier, extended the guidance to state banks. So when the Democrats changed, get this, okay? So when the Democrats changed their stablecoin negotiating position to only national banks under Fed oversight can issue these stablecoins, at the urging of Dees and Bharat, it wasn't intellectually honest. The Fed and the national bank regulators already prohibited it, and Brian and Bharat knew this, of course, because they had helped orchestrate chokepoint 2.0 policies. Now, there is more to this, but at the end of the day, people are policy. And if Brian Deese and Bharat Ramamurthy and Wally Adeyemo are all there to be the ones that advise this economic policy, it is very unlikely that Kamala Harris will ever soften up to pro-crypto legislation. And is why it is more important than ever to not only get yourself self-custody, because self-custody might be stripped away from you in the near future, but to get your crypto off exchanges. If you want to purchase crypto on exchanges, that is where you need to go, like CoinW, for example. The link will be in the description below, but you want to make sure if you're not openly day trading or swing trading your cryptocurrency, guys, get that crypto off exchanges, because before you know it, it might be illegal for you to even have self-custody. And that is a very scary thought.